Okay, hello everybody.
Is it working?
Welcome back. Sorry we're late. Somebody, I'm not going to name any names, wanted ice cream, so we had to make a special trip to the ice cream place to get ice cream. And of course we walked, so now I'm hot, sweaty, and thirsty. And yeah, so that being said,
I feel like you're blaming someone.
I did not name names. I was simply stating why we were late. But in all seriousness, hello everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden, that's Lauren, and behind the scenes we have Sugar's daddy. But I'm not going to let him in quite yet because I'm going to do the intro since obviously we are late, make sure everything's popping off without a stitch, and then we're going to bring him in after the introduction. Volume's good, looks good. Okay, so we got some whiskey here today that we're going to be drinking. And basically, all this whiskey was acquired on the honeymoon, and this in particular bottle we got from Mr. Peter White. Shout out to you, Peter. So we're gonna be drinking this guy today. Also, when we went to Binny's, we stopped at Binny's in Chicago, and we found the Red Empire Foggy Burl and the Woodford Reserve Batch Proof, the new one from this year, batch 121.2 proof. And then we got the new Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, which is A124. So, that being said, let me just say hi to the peeps, since we're clearly behind on comments, and then I'll bring Sugar Kitty in. I'm going to call him Sugar Kitty all my... No, I'm going to call him Sugar Daddy, because that's sounds funnier. Peter's here, says, cheers, everybody. Peter, cheers to you, sir. Sugar Kitty, obviously, here. Talk About Dusty's here. Cheers, Dustin. Derek Whiting's here. Everyone make sure you wish Mr. Derek Whiting happy birthday, because it is, in fact, his birthday today. So, 2 hoots and a holler for him. I don't know why I said that, but it worked. Dusty says, I went to the store on Ivy, Hazelbaum. Okay, I don't know. There's too many words for me. I'm trying to... came home with a Hazelburn 15 Oloroso. Sounds nice. I'm not sure what it is, though. Viking Bourbon's here, says cheers, folks. Viking Bourbon, welcome to it, man. How you doing? Casey Sizzler's here as well, says cheers, everyone. Casey, salute. But I think we got just about everyone in here. Dan Bino's here, says cheers. Bino, how are you now? You know, I could have had you on the street in the chat, or someone on the street in the chat, saying that we were going to be like, oh.
Right there.
Look at me.
No, look at me. How do you have ice cream on your face when you didn't have any?
I don't have ice cream on my face.
You have, like, chocolate on your face.
I don't know what that's about. Anyways, Casey says, how's everyone doing tonight? What's in everyone's glasses? Yada, yada. Beam was talking about Jim Beam. Of course. Jack Daniels from Mr. Derek Whiting, the birthday boy. Hollers, but please do not toot. Indeed. Okay. Oh, Z-Man is here as well. Says, cheers. Z-Man, cheers to you. Welcome to it. So, now, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Sugar... Oh, okay, 4-leaf whiskey is here. Mr. Sugar Kitty is here, and we're going to enter him in the chat right now. And I got to turn my computer up. I hear him.
Meow.
Howdy. How's it going?
I'm surviving somehow.
That's all you got?
It's better than the alternatives.
Oh no. We might be cutting to the shit internet.
Why did it do that? It was fine.
I don't know if it can handle it. I don't know, but we're fine. I think we're fine. We look fine. No, we're frozen. No, we're fine.
I think we should cancel T-Mobile Internet.
T-Mobile sucks.
We only know people talking on T-Mobile Internet.
Yes. But anyway, how are you doing today,
Mr.
Mr.
What it
Sugar?
is. I'm surviving.
It is what it is. We're about to drink some good bourbon, though, so... Well, 3 bourbons and a American single malt. Actually, not an American single malt, just single malt. No, wait, I'm confused.
It is technically a single malt.
Is it? Because
Yeah.
I was watching a video about this today, and it said something about there being 7 different malt grains used in this, but is that still, I guess, classified as a single malt? I don't know.
Yeah, the idea is that people don't think of what a single malt is when they think of the number of malts in it, because that's not what it means. When it
Fair.
says single, that's supposed to be only one distillery, not one malt.
Oh, yes.
So
I think
single malt is actually 2 categories: the type of whiskey and then the number of distilleries involved. So single is
Okay.
the number of distilleries, and the malt is the type of whiskey. Because it's 100% malt, even if there's 7 different ones, that still
Right.
makes it all malt. So it is a single malt.
Cool. Well, then in that case, we've got an American single malt here on the table. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen these online. I'm sure you have, but like that bottle art is so cool. I love that. It looks very, very cool. Some kind of moose deer thing with mushroom horns or mushroom antlers. Pretty wild. But
Well,
what?
Redwood Empire is the area of all the redwoods in California,
Yeah,
and that area was pioneered by John Muir, famous naturalist, and a lot of those drawings are from John Muir.
Really? Huh.
Yep.
That's crazy. Talent. That's talent is what it is. Okay, so I definitely know that these 2 will be last. And the Foggy Burl is 47% alcohol, so 94 proof. And then we have the Elijah Craig small batch pirate bottle coming in at 94 as well. So I think it might be best to start off on the Foggy Burl.
Sounds good to me.
It's going to be the most different. Then we can do Elijah Craig's back to back. That way we're keeping it in the family. Maybe even bother comparing. And then we'll do the Woodford Reserve last because save the best for last. I have high hopes for that Woodford Reserve. I really hope it's good.
Why is it open?
Works for me.
Why is it open?
Did you drink some of it?
Because we had to pour him samples. That's why it's open.
I'm just
Oh.
joking.
Were you joking or were you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. That's the neck pour. He has it.
There you see it.
Okay, so yes, these are all open, everybody. I saw Mrs. Tisler. Holy crap, my words are escaping me. Mrs. Taylor Tisler. Where'd it
It
go?
says passion.
I still says passion, but she's a Tisler, and we know it. Is in here. Says welcome or howdy or whatever she says. Howdy to you. Also, Richie Z's making an appearance. Says cheers, Holden, Lauren, and Sugar Kitty, making whiskey
Sure.
friends. Meow. Richie, how are you now? Yeah. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pour mine because
We're not ready.
oh, that's some pressure. Oh my gosh, you guys see the smoke in there? Probably not.
That's the New Jersey air that got in there.
Yeah, it is. Look at it. Why would it do that?
If anything, any air from around here would have some M&M chocolate in it.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna pour this guy. This is batch 1. Like I said, coming in at 94 proof. The first time I believe that they have an American single malt out. There is some information I think on it. Maybe there's not. 100% malted barley mash bill comprised of over 7 different types of malt. So yeah, right there it says different types of malt, but still being a single malt whiskey, obviously, because it is one place that made it. Grain to glass, testament to our passion, patience, and pioneering. So yeah, that being said, are you ready to drink it? Because I'm dying of thirst. Thirst and thirst on the nose.
I'm thirsty too, but you ruined our water.
It's spicy water.
doesn't taste good. It makes it all bitter.
Yes, I do have a little bit of sparkling water in here as well for the in between to cleanse the palate. But let's go ahead and get this guy on the nose here.
This is not good.
You know, that doesn't quite smell as American single malty as I've had from other things, and it could just be of all the pressure that was inside here. Because now that I think about it, we probably corked this at a much different elevation than here, and it traveled on the road all that time in the different climates and elevations. Because when I pulled this cork out, it like had some force behind it. It was like damn near blew out, and then it smoked in there. So I don't know.
One way or the other, I get a bunch of oak to begin with.
Oak, absolutely. I get like a little bit of I want to say like a malty chocolate, like on the chocolate side of things, like chocolate ice cream malt shake.
To
Which is
me,
nice.
like a little bit of the chocolate, but a little bready that goes with it.
Yeah,
Something like maybe a chocolate waffle cone.
Oh, now you're speaking my language. Lauren was eating brownie ice cream. Put that in a waffle cone. That'd be ideal.
Ooh.
You're right. It does. It definitely has that like bready, wafer-esque like ness to it, which I enjoy.
I think I'm gonna make myself an old fashioned.
Lauren's gonna make herself an old
I
fashioned now.
need you to go get me the juice and some ice.
All right. How about you continue nosing this with Mr. Sugar Kitty? I'll get-
That's a bad idea. Everything just kind of tastes like brownie right now.
I can't wait till you smell it and you give him one of your like lettuce notes that you kind of get sometimes.
Lettuce and cucumbers. It's salad whiskey.
Yes,
I like when it tastes like tomatoes. I feel like I would smell like apples. I don't know, or like a
Yeah, there's
like
something a little bit young about it. And young whiskey sometimes is a little bit tart, like apple.
Yeah, like it smells like
can
apple,
happen.
like a cinnamon apple to me. But that's not that crazy. So now Holden's gonna be disappointed in me. Uh-oh.
Cinnamon apple. Put a little bit of crumble on top of it.
That would be good. I should have made that for dessert instead of my brownie sundae.
And, well, I was going to say, put that together with some ice cream, and there you go.
Oh yeah. No ice cream on this though. But you could put this in your crumble
Oh,
part.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
How does it smell?
I said it smells like a cinnamon apple crumble.
Does it get a thumbs up from Lauren, or is
I mean, it
it?
doesn't smell bad, but it's not like I'm gonna remember it for the rest of my life. You
Fair.
never fixed these.
Oh my gosh, we still got Dickel up there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on the palette
What color
because
do I use?
color.
Yeah, or just give me something over there that.
What about some Redwood Empire?
Mine is better.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm
then
gonna
let's
use.
grab some. All right, I'm ready. Are you ready to drink it?
I already might have had just a touch.
I can. You probably were bored waiting for
Mhm.
Mrs. Ice Cream Pants over here.
What did I do?
Not bored, but just going on further with the tasting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I kind of mentioned that crumble on top of everything else and the spices that go with it.
But there's
Right.
a little bit left. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Like a station one old fashioned.
Okay. Honestly,
A little dry
I like
funk
this.
to it.
it does a little funk and that maltiness, a light spice in there. I don't know if I want to call it cinnamon or what it is, but very light spice on the front. I want to say there's some kind of fruit in here, like a light fruit, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Well, there's something a little bit young about it. And to me, that's potentially apple-ish, or maybe pear instead of apple.
Apple or pear? I think
Particularly with the funky part of it, the
Wait, I
pear
was gonna say apple or
seems
pear.
like a
That's what I
good
said.
description.
yeah. Yeah, because that's one thing I don't know is I don't know much about I'm not as experienced, I should say, in American single malts. So, knowing the young stuff, obviously in bourbon, younger, I obviously know kind of those notes, or I know how to associate those notes. But in American single malt, I don't know about young notes. I know that sometimes young can come across as light fruit. What's up? What? What's wrong? But yeah, so it tastes quite good. This is toasted and char number 3, batch number 1. But it's so hard. This label is like not.
It's like blurry, right?
I can't tell if it's like that on purpose or if it's. I think what it is indented and then traced in the middle, but I can't read that word. Oh, barrels produced. There's 27 barrels of this produced, so that's a relatively small batch, I'd say, right?
Oh, then there's chunks in it. And what is this?
What's from this?
It's not from that.
I don't know. We got situations up here. Also, you're not even in the frame there, dude.
Did you rinse the cup?
The cup, that's fine.
No, it's not. This is from the cup. There's chunks in it, Holden. How am I supposed to drink it?
Okay, so we have an old fashioned on the side tonight. After
How
running.
big that chunk is?
I don't know what the chunk is from. It's probably from
The glass.
the ice. Why would it be from the glass?
Why would it be from the ice?
Because
There was
I don't
probably
know.
dust in my cup and you didn't rinse it out.
Well, this cup is
I just
fine.
wasted that entire.
Here, well then you get to taste this and tell them what you think on the palate.
The roof of my mouth is
Yeah.
all.
From the
I'm
toast?
disappointed.
Me too. My mouth is all covered
Yeah.
in toast.
We had BLTs for dinner with toasted bread and it like tore our mouths up. So am I supposed to taste this?
Yeah, I think so.
It's okay. It just tastes sweet, but I don't get anything else.
Just sweet.
Like kind of like a coffee with some creamer in it.
Sweet to start, then very dry at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very dry at the end.
Not from the whiskey.
It's definitely a little harder to tell things because of the cut up mouth from the toast. But you're right. It is up front. You get kind of that sweet, a little bit of fruitiness, but in the back end it is a little bit more of that
I
like cinnamon
finished this
spice and
bottle of
oak.
whiskey today.
You gotta play the bottle kill song. I don't know
I don't know that.
how to.
Okay, you're just being weird.
It's a Halo song.
And there's people on the thing today that doesn't want to hear you do this.
Okay, well, you're the one who killed the bottle. Anyway, Sugar is like still.
No.
He's just
This
like.
guy's not being no.
He's
You're
like,
being weird.
Lauren just keeps messing up all of her old fashions. He just came here to drink good whiskey, and now look at him. He's waiting for you to fill up your cup full of sugar.
Look at this. There's like nothing left. How am I supposed to have more? You did not have it under control today, Holden. I'm disappointed. On
Oh,
Derek's
man.
birthday.
On Mr. Derek's birthday, which if you guys haven't wished him a happy birthday yet, make sure you guys do that. Robin Whiting is in the chat. Says cheers all. It's a beautiful day to drink bourbon. That it is. Also, Major Zero is here. Says cheers all. Major Zero, how are you now? How many bottles do you think they can get out of 27 barrels of single malt? Well, at 94 proof, probably 300 bottles a barrel. That about right? Or more?
I already wrote in the chat next thing down. Approximately, the yield varies, but approximately 180 on a regular size barrel.
Oh,
Wait, what did you say? Are you on?
It's like the port and your sherry barrels are larger. They're the ones that are usually like the 300.
oh okay. I just know because
So the regular 55-gallon that uses most whiskey, that is usually about 180, maybe 200 if you're lucky. It may be more like 150 as well, depending on the yield and all. But that's
Right.
just an average.
Yeah, I only know because I used to be on Patreon for the Bourbon Junkies back in the day. Actually, I don't know if I ever canceled that, but I digress. They
So
have
you've been paying like $20 a month for that?
it's like 2.
Okay, times how many months?
But they have their barrel picks, and obviously they tell you how many each yield are. So I just took the average. I gotta get Lauren a straw because,
Colin's a bad drink maker. He used to make me drinks, and now I have to suffer.
well, if I would have been prepared for the live stream because I didn't have to
I
walk
told you we
across
didn't have
the-
to go, and then you were like, "Let's go."
Yeah, because happy wife, happy life.
It would have been
I'm
fun.
learning.
There's a chocolate in here waiting for me, so I would have been okay.
Anyways, so overall,
Okay. Let me
It's
see if
good.
this tastes better.
It's different. It's not for everybody, particularly that little funk, the dry funk at the end.
yeah,
But it's also well done. No complaints about it.
it is $99.99. So it's $100.
You paid $100 for that?
Yeah,
Who approved this purchase?
I grabbed it off the shelf and said, "Look." You said, "Oh, cool. Are you gonna buy it?" And I said, "Yes." You're like, "Okay." And then I found the Woodford Batch
What
Proof.
happened to my Sassenach that I purchased?
I got the Woodford Batch Proof, and then I'm like, "You want me to put this one back?" She's like, "Nah, it's our honeymoon." So I said, "Okay," and so I just bought them both.
You didn't buy me anything on our honeymoon.
Yes, I did. I
What?
got you the Sassenach gin.
I bought that for myself. And it was only $30.
So for $100, how do you feel about this?
Try before you buy.
Fair
Some
assessment, I
people,
believe.
some people will be worth $100. Others aren't going to, really be bowled over by it.
Yep. I
So
think.
like a maybe.
Yeah. I think if I were going, I think I'm not upset that I bought it. I definitely think I'm happy with what I bought. I'm not gonna buy multiple bottles of it. If I ran out and I saw another one, maybe like a batch 2 or something, I'd consider getting it again. I really do enjoy it. Personally, I enjoy it, but I'm not gonna hoard this bottle for $100 anyway. So
What I wouldn't mind doing is waiting until there's like a batch 2, a batch 3, then maybe batch 4 or 5. See how
Yeah.
it's doing. And one of the things
Right.
that would make it, I think, a lot better is that if it had a little bit more age to it.
true.
I think with a little bit more age, then that $100 looks a lot better, at least in terms
Yeah.
of price.
Yeah, I could agree with that statement. Obviously, not having as many American single malts as you have, but just knowing that over time they're a young distillery, and this, I believe, I don't. Do you know if there's somewhat of an age or a suspected age on this guy? Because I don't see anything in
Second, I
here.
think it's under 10. I want to say
Okay.
it might be close to 8, but that's a
Right.
guess.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, put some years on it, and a couple ways down the road, it might end up being something really spectacular. I think it's good for what they got, though. I mean, probably decently young distillate with,
And particularly as a first try at it.
Yeah, for sure. But I digress. So that being said, I need to cleanse the palate, and I think it's time to move on.
Move on from what? Me?
No, I can never move on from you.
Oh, you're cool.
I
I think I put too much of the syrup in here.
think you did because I normally don't put that much.
I didn't know. Normally we
Add more whiskey. Add
I
some
used all
cast
the
strength.
whiskey already.
Add a little cast strength. Don't add cast
I was
strength.
just gonna add more water.
I don't think more water is gonna make it
But
work better.
Are you sure?
I think more whiskey would make it better.
What
What would go good with that? Probably like a Woodford or an Old Forester. Here, let's add a little high proof Old Forester 1920 in there. That'll really kick things up a notch.
You
Get rid of
wanna
some of
get
that
me drunk?
sugar. Yes,
Or that ECBP that you have in front of you.
that's true. We could use this, but She already poured.
He doesn't like to use expensive stuff on me, even though I like the expensive
Honestly,
stuff.
the ECBP isn't much more expensive than the Old Forester 1920.
Oh, really?
But I would give you the ECBP. I certainly have enough batches of them. John Cloud is here. Says, "Happy honeymoon." Thanks, sir. Cheers to you. Welcome in. How are you doing tonight? Lauren got some ice wine bottles. though. That's true. What are you doing drinking
Yeah.
old fashioned? You can be drinking
I think I put them in the ice fridge. I mean, the wine fridge.
the wine fridge.
Yeah, but I have an old fashioned now. I can't
Well-
have an old fashioned and a ice wine. I'll be too drunk, and I need to work tomorrow.
That's okay.
So that's for a stream of itself.
Yeah, I was about to say we can honestly just do a wine stream.
Mm-hmm.
We should be doing a wine stream at some point.
I think
But,
we added too much liquor.
um,
Why don't you use the straw?
No, that's fine.
Are you sure?
So, next up on the list is Elijah Craig small batch 12-year-old age statement pirate bottle. So you guys can see there, above your face.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Oh, it's beautiful. This was a gift from Mr. Peter White, and so we picked this up from Peter, and then when we stopped at Sugar Kitties, we obviously gave him a sample, like all this stuff.
That was a wet ass cork.
That's because it leaks a little bit, because it's so old. Also, it sounds like it's gonna break every time I open it, and I get scared. Oh, but
Suck on it like a nipple.
the cork smells awesome. I cannot wait to taste it, so gonna pour it in the Glen. So did you pour these out while you're waiting, or do you have them all poured out right now, or are you pouring as we go?
I had them all ready before the stream.
Okay. So
About
being late.
15 minutes before, mine are all poured out.
Okay. So being late probably didn't help the case, but hopefully
Whatever.
it didn't hurt. Isaiah V's in the chat says, "Cheers, Holden, Lauren, Sugar Kitty. Did Burt Ben behave when y'all met up?" Oh, barely. He barely behaved. He got us kicked out of the lobby. Just kidding. In all seriousness,
They kicked us out of the lobby.
they kicked us out of the lobby. Burt Ben gets there, and we're down there meeting with him, and we start pulling out all these bottles of liquor, and the hotel people kind of walk past. They're like,
Multiple times too. You could tell they were like, "Should we say something?"
well, you can tell that like the younger guys just like, I don't think they're allowed to do this, but I'm not gonna yell at them. So he had to go get his manager, and then manager had to come tell us like, you can go to your room and do
No,
it.
he's like, "I don't mean to be a party pooper, but I'm gonna poop on your party anyway." So
Yeah.
So then he had to come and sit in our hotel room. I don't know if that was weird for him, but I almost fell asleep. But was tired.
Yeah. Well, our hotel room was small, but honestly, we made it work, and we just kind of sat around and hung out, drank good whiskey, like real good whiskey. Shout out to Burt Ben because he brought the juice.
He will do that.
Yeah. He certainly he told me about his collection. Yeah, he certainly has the bottles for it. So, but that being said,
He's got the juice.
I've got the Elijah Craig Pirate Barrel poured in the Glen, and it smells so good. Like on the nose, it's not necessarily that I'm smelling proof, but the amount of flavors that I'm smelling in here doesn't nose as a 94 proofer. Like it seems like to have a lot more going on in the nose than the average low proof.
Oh, there's a friend.
Oh my goodness. Is that sugar?
Nope. That's
Or is that
Hello,
white wine?
yes, it is.
It's
It's
sugar.
sugar.
Oh, sugar doesn't look as like orange in the camera.
What do you? Sugar look more orange on the camera. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Or like, she's not orange.
She's not really orange. She's more of a light brown than orange,
Yeah.
really.
She looks like
In the
more
camera,
like-
she looked like a different color. I was
Yeah,
confused.
that's why I thought it was the other one.
I don't think the other one has all the
White
like.
shoes liked me more, so I think that was.
Lauren really likes white shoes a lot.
White Shoes has learned to be the one to kind of greet everybody.
Yeah.
Particularly as she has gotten older, she just kind of sits in the background and lets White Shoes do all the talking first, and she waits kind of
She's like,
sees
I'm
and
buy you a recipe of treats. And then I didn't have any.
yeah,
It's okay.
That happens. Okay, so on the nose, this smells awesomeness. I don't even like. There's such like a nice oaky fruit, like fruit medley, blackberry
berries.
cherry jam, like sweet cherry, like sweet triple berry jam.
You get in the stores like a thing of fresh berries that's like frozen all together, and you never know what's the mix, whether it's got
Right.
cherries and blackberries and whatever
Yeah.
else all mixed together.
Oh yeah. There's also another kind of sweet note on here that I'm getting that I can't quite place. That's man, I don't know if it's caramel. It might be more like a brown sugar.
Well, I get a combination of vanilla together with brown sugar. To me, it's kind of like shoe fly pie. You know what
Okay.
that's like? At the bottom of a shoe fly pie is actually molasses mixed together on the bottom.
I've never had that. Have you had that?
Ooh, you should.
I should. Well, how do you spell
I
that?
think we've talked about it before, though.
SHOOFLY, shoe fly.
It definitely.
Yeah, we definitely have talked about that.
I'm gonna look it
It's
up.
an Amish specialty. It's Amish.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I got a little from the top of the glass, and I'm getting that vanilla that you were talking about.
For sure, vanilla with the berries. Combination of the oak and sweetness. Brown sugar.
Honestly,
Yeah.
on the nose, this is the bold statement here, but I think on the nose, this could be one of the best low proof whiskeys that I've nosed. Like at 94 proof, this smells fantastic.
That's what it looks like.
Ooh, that looks like something I'd really enjoy.
I'm trying to figure out what's.
Find a recipe.
It's like a molasses.
Brown sugar.
Think of a molasses crumb cake inside of a
Yeah.
pie pan.
Yeah, that's what it looks
You're
like.
speaking my language because I would enjoy that a lot. Oh man. But now that we've smelled this, let's just drink it. I'm excited. I want to drink it. I've been eyeing this bottle since we got it. Can't wait. So let's get it.
Like a candy. Not exactly Smarties, but something with very light kind of candy. Maybe
With like a
Nerds.
sugary dust on it, or like
Yeah. Exactly.
kind of like a dry,
Something
sweet,
powdered.
or like a tart.
Dry,
or like-
sweet, and powdered.
Yes. I know exactly what you're saying. I've gotten that like Smarties kind of powdered candy before on other whiskeys, which I love that note. It had some good spice in it mid palate, I think, unless my mouth is just burnt, or just torn up. But I feel like it had some decent spice mid palate. It drank hotter than 94 proof, I think, at least the first time.
Well, for sure, it's definitely got the hug with it.
Mm-hmm.
That the finish is nice and long.
Yeah,
Because of
actually,
that
up
hug.
front, it doesn't really have much of that heat up front. Now that I think about it,
But
when I
then
first got it in my mouth, it
You wait
tastes
it
almost,
and then it comes through.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
waiting for it to punch you. And then on the finish, I think is where it really shines with all that decent oak presence there, too. I think it's got a nice, like, sweet, spicy oak in the finish that I really enjoy.
Starts out sweet with the candy.
Yeah.
It comes in with then right after that the oak and spices, finishes off with more of like that berry, whatever goes with the candy, and then that nice long oaky hug.
Yep. Oh, man, Peter, thank you for that. This is good, Peter. This is very good. He says the Elijah Craig 12 was really inexpensive bottle back in the day. Billy Johnson made White Shoes famous. LOL. So not on
That
topic.
is actually the way that White Shoes was named. Yes,
Really?
it's a female cat, but technically her name is actually White Shoes Johnson, named after
Interesting.
the football player.
A football player?
She has a kind of story to her because she was actually originally owned by an elderly lady who had an elderly lady name for White Shoes to begin with, which I decided maybe need to be changed.
What was the previous name?
Which is the reason why it's like, okay, we're going a completely different direction. No more little old lady names.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's okay. Our dog's name was Cheddar Boy. What do you do with that?
Yeah. I mean, Cheddar is almost a somewhat normal name, but Cheddar Boy is just like,
It was just
here, Cheddar Boy. He doesn't even respond to it anymore.
no.
He's
He
too
didn't
young.
respond to it when we got him either. Weirdos. I made the
Only
joke
in Wisconsin.
like it made mozzarella stick.
The old fashioned's hitting her already. Bourbon Bites is here. Says cheers.
It's like half alcohol.
That's a good thing. And then says, oh, hey there, Sugar Kitty. Bourbon Bites. Cheers to you, sir. How are you now?
Who's
Gertrude?
Oh, no.
Was that the name of the cat?
Yeah.
Was that Sugar Kitty?
No,
I mean,
I put it in the chat. Her name was Lovey Dovey.
oh, Lovey Dovey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be
Glad you
changed
changed it.
for sure. White Shoes is a much better name. Our cat's name.
Yeah,
Our
White
cat's name.
Shoes Johnson.
What was that?
White Shoes Johnson specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White Shoes Johnson. That baller name. Bourbon White says our cat's name was Nathaniel when we adopted him. We changed it to Bing.
Yeah. Isn't it weird when people give animals like people names?
No,
Or do you think
we
that
we
people-
gave our dog a people name.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Do you think people in Scotland think like, why the heck did they name their dog a people name?
I don't know. Like if we got a wiener dog, we were gonna name him Frank, like a turkey Frank. But yeah, I don't know. I don't find it that weird.
Okay, but like, if you met a dog named Bill, wouldn't you just giggle a little bit?
I mean, it depends on the name, I suppose.
Okay, think about a dog and calling him Bill. Hey, Bill.
What if it was like Jim? Hey, Jim.
It's not Bill. A little dog like that would be named Willie. Bro, look at the Willie.
Willie. That's funny. Frank works because wieners. Indeed.
Or if it was a girl, we can name it Vienna.
Like the Vienna sausage. Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Or Oscar.
Sure, Kitty.
Well, you need twin dogs for Oscar. You need one that's Oscar and one that's Meyer.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
for sure. Thoughts on this Elijah Craig Pirate Barrel bottle?
What's not to say about it?
Is it everything you ever hoped and dreamed of?
It is
I wouldn't
better.
quite go that far. I mean, it's not exactly perfect, but on the
No.
other hand, I mean, this is like what you shoot for.
You pull out.
This is what you wanted it to be.
You pull out the 94 proof modern day Elijah Craig small batch, and this is leaps and bounds out of what that currently is. At least in my opinion, this tastes.
But it's only 94 proof?
They're both only 94 proof.
Exactly.
The base Elijah Craig. Now, I also haven't had it in a while. I could compare it, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Eventually, I will do that, but not tonight. But from my memory, this is significantly better whiskey. I think that's safe to say.
Well,
I
for
definitely- I
sure,
don't know
considering. On the other hand, I'm not going to say that, when you get up to something like a 120 or a 130 proof ECBP, that it isn't going to, be blown out by that kind of proof and that kind of
Right.
flavor. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, this competes with something that's obviously could be a lot higher proof, the amount of
Mhm.
flavor that's in.
I
For 94
completely agree.
proof, that's quite a punch.
Oh yes, very very good, very. And yeah, you're right. It does have that like hitting above its weight class. I think if I were to do this blind, I might even guess that this one is closer to 105 proof.
You would easily think that's over 100.
Yeah, in my proofometer.
Or maybe put it at like a bottled and bond or a 101, something like that. That's right on the edge.
Yeah,
Certainly
for sure.
more than 94 though.
Yep, absolutely. Peter White says my dog's named Oscar. There is no Meyer. Oh man.
Then hold on. Put the next one
Oh,
that you know of.
that's true.
Dun.
There could be a Meyer out there somewhere. You just might not know. So.
But that's so cute. We should have a live stream where everyone just live streams and then their puppies sit next to them.
I don't think Martel would be able to sit around the bar without making
You know
a
what I've
mess.
seen on TikTok? There's this guy that makes cocktails for himself and then he makes like dog versions. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I've seen that. Man.
And he's cute.
Yeah.
I mean the pot dog. The dog is cute.
Good segue here. Richie Z says, "Is the ECBP A124 next?" You're right, it is, and we're actually going to pour that right now, if you're ready, because I saved a little in my Pirate bottle glass, so that for shits and giggles, I can do some slight comparisons at the end here. But this is ECBP A124. That's this year's January release. It is 10 years and 9 months old with the new age statements that they're putting on these bottles. And it is 119 proof on the dot. 119.0. So, we've broke away from 12-year age-stated Elijah Craig barrel proofs, and now mainstream media is pretty much saying that it's not worth it. Every time... From my experience, whenever there's one over 12 years old, everyone goes nuts. ECBP C923, which arguably was amazing. But then, like this batch, I haven't tasted it yet, but it was a lower age statement. And from what I've seen, there's a lot of mixed reviews out there. And I know a lot of people wondering if it's like only mediocre. So, that being said, let's get it on the nose.
Pretty typical for an ECBP.
I would say
Only typical.
I get it actually kind of right off the bat reminded me a little bit of that Pirate bottle, but this one definitely has an underlying nutty note in it, maybe like a peanut dust or something I'm getting in here on the
Well, it
nose.
has the oak. Right off the bat, it has the oak.
Yep. Oak, a little bit of like peanut dust, a little bit of spice.
Past
So, like,
the oak, then the nut.
maybe like a nutmeg spice or nutmeg clove. Oh man, I'm so bad at specifying spices.
It's like takes really far.
I do not get clove because I'm very sensitive to that. I'm not like a big fan. So
Yeah,
I don't think it's more like that. I would say definitely not the cinnamon.
I think someone needs to re-explain to me about how
Allspice or nutmeg?
like Casey can still drink it without dying.
Because Casey's allergic to peanuts and whiskey doesn't have peanuts in it.
But how does it get the taste?
The barrel.
How does the barrel get the taste?
I don't know.
Yeast.
Magic. Shit just happens.
Yeast.
Yeast.
The yeast,
That's
when it's transferring the sugar into alcohol, it also produces other flavors, which includes things like, for example, the Woodford or something like Old Forester might have a banana flavor in it. That comes from yeast. The spices potentially. There are other spices like wood sugars that come from the barrel instead. But there's also like fruits, peach, strawberry, coconut sometimes. Those all come from the yeast.
So how do they know what it's gonna taste like? How does I'm confused. Like they just know like certain strains of yeast taste like certain things.
Yes,
Well-
different strains of yeast will produce different chemicals, and that's what gives it the different flavors. One of the
Yeah.
ways they know that, if you've ever seen what Four Roses does with their bourbons, they have a bunch of different yeast strains, and each one gives it a slightly different character to the combination of the mash bill and those
Yeah,
yeast strains.
there's 10 of
That's
them,
how they
and
get
there's
different flavors out of it.
2 mash bills and 5 yeast strains. So they combine each mash bill with each yeast strain to get 10 different, or I think it's 10. Maybe it's 8. No, it's 10.
10 total.
So the
Oh my god.
the last letter in there on the OESV, that last letter is the yeast strain that Four Roses used in that particular batch. So that's how they do that.
Oh.
And
Did you not
because
know this? Because you've never been able to explain this to me.
well, I generally knew it, but I also
You
know
still have
that
chocolate on your face.
it's not chocolate. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's something and it's bothering me.
What I do know is that another reason why all these distilleries have some crossover flavors, hence, like, you could tell if it's Old Forester or Elijah Craig or Maker's Market. Well, besides mash bills, between mash bills and yeast strains, they're using, right? Am I right? This similar mash bills and yeast strains are going to make similar flavor notes.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Hey, Z said I came for the cat, but the guy's rapping is a shiz, but don't give it away for free. Hey, Z, man, how are you now? Welcome to it. I think you just popped in now. Yes. So overall, nose pretty typical. Smells decent. Time to drink it. I think you already had a sip. I think I see.
I had a quick sip.
Just a quick one, so it doesn't count, right?
It was priming the palate, is what it was.
And you were
Okay.
sure right about the nuts.
Yep.
That is a nutty bugger.
I like nuts. I know there's a lot, which is very controversial. Okay. It's very controversial, I think, in the whiskey world is a lot of people out there do not like the nutty note, but as long as they're not super green, really kind of enjoy
I have a
peanuts,
question. What
peanut
the fuck's a
butter.
green note? A
You have green nuts?
like pistachios?
Aren't like
Oh, pistachios, right.
that's
That.
not what I was thinking. I
Well,
was
then
thinking
you don't have the right things.
when nuts grow before they're fully grown and become
You
like
mean like they need to be ripe?
well, yeah, but are they not green before they're
I
ripe?
don't know. I don't ever grow nuts. I don't even know what nuts look like before you grow them, except for the walnut because it comes in the shell, and the pistachio. But what does that grow at? I don't know. Like on a tree.
I guess I don't know. I just always assumed that like a green
What
nut
nut is
has a
it?
little bit more
What nut is
in this.
Yes.
Just like peanut, like just like actual peanut. Oh, you're looking at
How does a
peanut?
peanut grow? It's a plant.
yes.
Oh, they grow on the ground. Oh, the duh, yeah, because they have the shells. That makes sense. Okay. So what about this is fucking green though?
The fucking stem. That's what.
You eating peanut stems? No, you're not.
But that's what I mean. It kind of tastes like the bad peanut note to me, at least, tastes a little bit like earthy and like it tastes like a plant. It tastes planty.
This not only tastes peanut, but there's a lot of earth. It's a funky nut too.
Yes.
There's only 11 types of nuts.
That's a pass to me.
That doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot going on in here. I mean, the nuts, obviously, there are a lot.
The nuts overtakes it all.
Yeah, there's a slight spice in the back end, maybe like an oak spice in the back end coming through.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say there's much evolution to this. I would say it's kind of just nutty.
It's long,
Which
it's strong, it's got a good finish to it. But if you don't like nuts, you sure are not going to like this one.
That is very, very true.
Okay, I have another question. How do people who don't like they can't have nuts, how do they pick out the nut note? Or like do they just like assume it's nut? Or like how do they do that? Like are they just like they
Casey?
just don't hear the note?
Casey's eaten nuts before.
Yeah, they might not know.
You gotta eat nuts in order to know you're allergic to them.
That's true. But like you find out you're allergic when you're like little because that's when you're testing
You
out foods.
can. Sure.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you still have some pirate bottle in your glass, but jump back to that and just smell how delicious and just, how insane that smells compared to this hot nut. Hot nuts.
Mm.
It smells so much more fruit, sweet, forward, so much more decadent. Yeah, so overall,
This looks like you.
I think A124, if you're a lover of Elijah Craig barrel proofs and you just buy them all because it's Elijah Craig barrel proof and you just want to buy them all, yeah, sure. You're not gonna probably not gonna kick yourself over it because honestly, for the price point, it's not so bad. But on the other hand, if you don't like nuts, you're probably gonna hate this. I like nuts. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty flat, as in. I think it's pretty flat, as in. It's simple. It's got like one or two notes that I enjoy, but it's not. Honestly, I enjoy the pirate bottle significantly more than I enjoy this. So. That being
But is that
If you're a
just because-
typical bean kind of person, if you like wild turkey, that kind of thing with a strong nuts to it,
right.
could be.
Yeah, and I
price
enjoy
wise,
wild turkey.
yeah.
So, hence why I enjoy this guy. Or I enjoy it as in, besides it being somewhat boring, I don't necessarily find it just gross. You know what I mean? I think you dislike it a lot more than I do, but I'll admit that there's not a whole lot to it.
Well, to me, it's not the nuts itself, but it's the fact that it's also on the funky side with, the way you described it, that there's a definite earthy nut to it.
Right.
And to me, that's really what turns me off.
Okay.
Because if it's a lighter nut, like there are some, I've had some McKenna 10 bottles that have a nice nut, lighter and like almost like a walnut instead of peanuts,
Right.
and that's good. If this had that to it, I would say yes. But to me, it's too strong and it's too earthy for me.
Right.
That's really
And
where it goes a bit too far.
And on the nose, it wasn't so bad. The nose, I could
Yeah.
smell the nuts, but it
You
didn't
won't
prepare
get the amount. You will not get the amount of nuts just by smelling it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
won't know it's there until you taste it.
You won't know nuts until it's in your mouth, I guess is what he's trying to say. So, that being said, Hanging Easy's got the hot take. Nutty whiskey is good. I eat peanuts while I drink whiskey. I'm with you. I
Who's the one
love
that sent us those nuts
love
and
the
then
nuts.
you ate them all and didn't
that was
try one?
Independent Joe.
Oh.
Hanging Easy also says peanuts come from the peanut fairy. Plant some nut vines next to your cheese bush.
What the fuck
A
does
cheese
that mean?
bush is not. Do you really think? I'm sure he's kidding, But just in case he's not, you do know cheese doesn't grow on
No,
trees,
you
right?
live in Wisconsin.
I'm just gonna throw it out here, but you're probably the dumbest one on the channel, so I'm pretty sure he knows that cheese doesn't grow on trees.
That's a fair assessment, but I'm not actually that dumb unless you ask
I
me
never said
about.
you were actually dumb.
If you ask me about geography or history, I could be the dumbest one on the planet, but I'm not necessarily dumb.
Okay, well you know where Wisconsin is, right?
Yeah,
I
It's
could
in the
probably still
United
fill in
States.
all the 50 states, I bet.
I could fill in probably 30 of the states.
That's really sad.
I could
That
fill
is true though, because you kept asking me where Arizona was.
I could fit in all the outside states.
Arizona's an outside state.
Okay, listen, I always get the four corner ones mixed up. I know what they are, I just don't know which
What
one
are
is in
they?
which corner. We got Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. Is that right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
a good start.
Yeah, so I know which one, I just don't know where in the corners they belong.
Did you know what states we were going to be driving through before I told you?
I knew Michigan, Canada, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and I knew we'd be going through Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio.
But
Did
you
we
didn't
go through
know
any
that.
else? Did we go anywhere
But
else?
did you know
I didn't.
That Canada is a pretty big state.
Yeah, I can't. He's right. Oh man. So dirty peanuts. Ew.
Mm.
Nobody likes a dirty nut.
I really feel like you're lying and that you didn't actually know the states we were going through because you asked me like 15 times what the fuck we were driving through.
No, it's not that I didn't know which states we were going through. I thought we were driving through more states than we did. What's under Pennsylvania?
Multiple states.
Maryland.
Maryland, West Virginia.
Maryland?
Yeah.
I partly expected to drive through. I don't know why. Cause I guess the shape of them, I didn't really understand that we'd be coming through Pennsylvania and then back through Pennsylvania this way. I thought we would have at some point went through another state. But I understood the gist of
Is it
That-
because you don't know the shape of
Pennsylvania.
New York State?
I know New York is kind of like that.
And then you just didn't realize that there had to be a state under that?
Listen, okay, I don't need your sass.
Well, I'm just actually wondering.
I don't really know what I thought, to be honest. Peter Wright says,
Lauren?
get out of it.
Lauren, get him an etch-a-sketch.
Yes,
He
that's
needs
just
an
gotta-
etch-a-sketch for us.
I just had it at work. I could have brought it home. If our kids get your math skills and my social studies skills, they're gonna be like the smartest kids in the school.
And then if our kids get my geography and social studies skills and your math skills,
Hey, I was never
There
bad at
be-
math. I just wasn't very good at the hard maths.
I got great grades in all my social studies classes. The problem is I'm a memorize it and forget it next week type of guy. Like I don't really care after I get out of
Your school must have
class.
just been so freaking easy to pass.
Math is easy. Math has laws, and every law creates the answer. No matter what, you have to use base laws to get.
I was really good
correct
at
answer.
trig. I was decent in algebra, but not like the crazy algebra with all the crap. And I sure as fuck didn't get calculus, but I never had to take calculus because my senior year I took trig, and then when I was in college I had to take stats. So I was good at all of them, but I never took physics, and I never took. But physics is like half math, half science, right?
Yes.
And then I never took
Yeah, it is.
calculus.
Yep. You guys live in the magical land of cheese. Figure it out. Yeah, that's what it says to figure it out.
Okay, he's not from Canada. You don't have to talk in a Canadian accent.
I know, but he loves Letterkenny, so he appreciates it, and that's what he appreciates about me. Okay, let's crack open the most exciting bottle of the night here because the ECBP was okay, but it's gonna have nothing on this. I can already tell. I personally love Woodford Batch Boost. If you guys aren't aware, won Whiskey of the Year for me, my first year doing it. Then it took like 5th or 4th place or 6th place or something last year. Last year's batch took pretty high up in my top 25. And I really enjoy getting this bottle every year. So that being said, it did get $160. I got it for $160. And it's a 700 milliliter, not a 750. So that's pretty depressing. But it's 121.2
Wait,
proof.
it's smaller than the other bottles?
Yes, they did that last year too. Don't ask me why, because I don't.
So it's just smaller than so the one is just bigger than your other two bottles.
Yes. Yep.
Brown-Forman seems to be going that direction. Even those smaller bottles, the bonded, the JD bonded and those. The
Do they sell a
700.
lot? Do they sell a lot to the other countries? Because I know that in other countries they kind of all are 700 ml, right?
Yeah, Jack Daniels is the world's leading selling whiskey of all.
Okay, I suppose. So that's fair. You smelled this. What do you think?
I don't get any immediate notes off of it.
Oh, I can tell that this one's got
Let me smell it.
much more
Chocolatey.
proof than the Elijah Craig.
Yeah.
Chocolate is absolutely 100%,
Well, that sucks. I don't like when it tastes like chocolate.
but it's not all chocolate. It's chocolate, sweet oak, a bit of, I don't know if it's spice coming through or if it's proof, but something on the nose is just punching me.
Where is what does that say? Is that say verse?
Oh my goodness, hold on. Oh, I just got a great note. I can't put my finger on it. It's some kind of delicious sweet red fruit candy, some kind of red fruit candy. I don't know what it is. Oh my gosh. I keep smelling
Oh
it.
my gosh.
It's not Kool-Aid, but it's got some super sweet red cherry flavor, cherry flavoring, artificial cherry flavoring, but not medicinal cherry flavoring where it's cough syrup or cough drops. It's when you have a cherry Jolly Rancher, but I don't get it unless I bring my nose a significant amount away from the actual glass.
It's too far away.
A lot of the medicinal cherries are kind of like a lighter cherry, where this is really dark.
Yes,
Interesting.
dark, deep.
Like
Oh,
a
I enjoy
maraschino out of a regular cherry.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoy that a lot. It's when you're going in more, it's much more on the chocolate and oak. But when you come out, that cherry note is
Chocolate-covered cherry cordials.
yes. All right, nose is promising. I'm gonna like the palate of this one.
It's a train ride. It goes this way, and this way, and that.
I really enjoy how much cherry note comes through on the palate. I want to say actually up front, kind of starts with that chocolatey sweetness and
Sweet
a
for
little bit
sure.
more, and then more toward the mid palate and into the finish is kind of where that sweet cherry resides. And then once you get in the finish, you're kind of getting a little bit of that oak following back through. It didn't drink. It drank decently hot, but it didn't drink as hot as I expected it to drink from the nose, at least on the finish. At least the
The
first
hug's
sip.
still there, though.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, this is gonna kick some serious ass in the end of the year competition for sure. I can already tell.
When you drink, it's in slow motion, and I'm kind of just waiting for you to be done, but it's not quite there yet.
Oh my goodness. This is I'm having such a hard time placing other notes behind the chocolate cherry oak-ness of this. It's so good. This is my quintessential bourbon palate. This is what I like. You should try that. Lauren loves Woodford Batch Proof typically, and Woodford products in general.
This just
It's
smells like something
candy.
I would drink outside.
It really is candy.
Do you know what I'm saying? Think about drinking this while barbecuing and then smell it. It kind of makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if I definitely think I get the chocolate. Like, it tastes kind of bitter to me.
It definitely has a little. I don't know if that's from the chocolate or if it's a little bit of a tannic oak. But honestly, in a lot of the Woodford products, I get just a slight dryness in the palate. I personally enjoy that. But like, I think you're getting some oak presence in there, and I think that's what you're saying. For that little bit drying. Did you get any kind of like tannic notes in there?
Not while I'm drinking it, but I haven't had like a third sip to it. So I'm just kind of letting it wait a second. And as I do, I'm starting to get that pucker. So when
Yeah.
you say tannic, yeah,
How do you like it, Bubba?
I don't think
right
it's
on
my
the
favorite.
tongue and the upper palate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny.
Yep,
I think it.
I would have to taste it with the other ones.
I think it has a solid chance of being my favorite. I think it beats last year's for me personally. I think it beats last year's. It's really just a question on if it can beat 2 years ago. The 118.4 is the one I really enjoyed. So at some point I'll be putting them in a blind. I would love to compare them, but this is all in all, this is real good. And I saw this everywhere in New York. Everywhere. Even when we left New York, I think I saw it a few times.
Here it's kind of sporadic, but you do see it. Most stores, when they get one of those, Woodford releases, they get one or two releases. They don't get the whole set of them. But
Yeah.
then, a few miles down the road, whatever the liquor store is there, they'll get like them, the other ones. So they're kind of
Right.
scattered around. But, if you really want one of these, you can find it. Just takes a little bit of
Yeah.
searching.
It's like, I never find it easily in Wisconsin. So the first year I had to, the first year I think I just got lucky. How did I even find it the first year? Was that Total Wine?
No, we were in Chicago.
Were we in Chicago? Really? At Binny's?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first year I found it at Binny's. I didn't even find it in Chicago. I found it in Illinois. And
Wait, hold on. Did you say I didn't find it in Chicago? I found it in Illinois.
I didn't find it in Wisconsin. I found it in Illinois. Then last year's, I looked for in Wisconsin for months. And then about 3 or 4 months after it came out, Casey found me a bottle, I think in Kentucky. Or somewhere when he was adventuring, but it was not in Wisconsin, I don't believe. And then this year, again, I've never seen it yet in Wisconsin. And I got this one from Binny's in Chicago. So I don't think Woodford necessarily even appears in Wisconsin all that much. But I can tell you what, I wish it did because this is quite nice. Hanging AZ, were you talking about the Woodford or were you talking about the Elijah Craig? Probably
I'm
Elijah.
sure that's the ECBP.
Yeah. Derek says I had a customer today that thought a 12 by 14 room was 26 square feet. Well, you know what? It was your birthday. Had to send you someone that can make you laugh, okay? Peter says Ontario gets every shitty Woodford Reserve special release except for Barrel Proof. Oh, that's such a bummer. I'll send you a sample there, Peter, if you want to taste it. I'll send you a couple samples actually of some stuff. Let you taste them because it's I enjoy it. It's real good. Dessert bourbon, absolutely. It's desserty. It's very much cherry cordial, cherry chocolate oak. A little bit of tannic at the end, but I've had much more tannic.
It's
whiskeys.
balanced enough. Definitely. It's balanced enough, particularly the flavors of that cherry is strong enough to hold up to any of the tannic note to it at the end.
Yeah, the cherry almost
It's
offers
not
a refreshing sweetness
balanced
to everything
it.
else that's there. I really enjoyed it a lot. Before I tasted this, the most cherry thing I'd ever had bourbon wise is Calumet Farms 15. That was one that I always get a lot of cherries in. This actually could have more cherry than that.
My recollection from tasting that too, because I still have a bottle of Calumet 15, is that Calumet 15 should still be even more cherry than what we've got
Yeah.
here.
And I love a
But
cherry
I'm,
note.
I'm sure that the minute you take a little bit of that and side by side, you notice right away.
Right. I'm gonna smell out the
And,
bottle.
and to me, that Calumet is going to be like a lighter cherry, where this is like a
Right.
darker cherry to it.
That's true. This definitely does have a little bit more of a medicinal cherry aspect. This is more, and like
Which not
only
everybody
that,
likes that particular bottle. It's very strong.
yeah, this has more body, I think, than the just more to it, more punch than the Cal 15. Obviously, it's higher proof. It's whatever, but I really enjoy that a lot.
Well, if I remember, the proof is actually not that far off. It's higher, but it's not that far.
But we're going from
Isn't
121.2 compared to 105.
I thought it was a little bit more than that, but
Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, it's a good 15, 16 proof difference, which they're still above 100 proof. They're going to carry some weight to it. From a recollection, this seems to have more oomph to it than the other guy. But I did buy this for $160. Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I would pay that again. If I bought the same liquid in a different bottle, it was called something else, and it wasn't something that I've significantly been in love with the last 3 years, I would still really, really, really enjoy this and talk just as much praise because I like it a lot. I think in terms of my palate, this is kind of like not end all be all. I really like the exploration of whiskey. I think that this is like those notes that I just enjoy every time I have them. If I get a whiskey with these notes in it, I'm gonna like it regardless. That's my 2 cents.
To me, I think you actually picked up the exact bottle, which to me says, I don't know that I would pay the price. And in particular, it would in fact be that Calumet 15. That
Oh, really?
Calumet 15 right now I can get for $99.
Really?
And given the price difference, I would probably tend to say the Calumet. Even if this has more complexity to it, and it's a really
Right.
good pour, and it's well made, it's well balanced, but just based on that price, that Calumet there, the 15, not the 16, I think that's a little bit more oak than I want, but the 15 to me is really the sweet spot. And I would say that if you wanted to spend about $100, you could get a really good bottle with that. To me,
Right.
also, if I wanted something that's very desserty and also the Woodford profile, a double oak will only cost you $50.
That's true. That is good whiskey.
By no means is it as good as this bottle, for sure.
Right.
But you can have 3 double oaks for one of that.
Yep, indeed. That's the tough part.
I would go out to a bar and have a pour of this at a bar, for sure. And it would be worth the money to have, this, a couple of times.
Yeah, it's
But
like obviously
I would be drinking that Woodford double oak.
Yeah, obviously, I like buying the differences, but that's a fair point. Is that if I was someone who didn't just kind of collect and drink all different kinds of whiskey, if I really did just kind of drink my favorites, the Calumet 15 is a much better price for what you're going to get. And personally, I agree with you. I love the Calumet 15. I like it a lot better than Cal 16. I've only ever had a sample of the Calumet 16, but Cal 15 just is where I like it. I love all the notes in Calumet 15. I think it's awesome. And comparing that to this is $60 more. Now, I got my Calumet 15 for $115 at the time, which was 2 years ago now, probably.
Yeah.
But it's still significant. That's $45 cheaper than this is. So you're taking things with stride. This, it's got more of a name. It's harder to find. It's whatever. It's more collector, I guess you would say. But the whiskey inside of it is really good for the price. But you could get something close to it for a lot cheaper with the Cal 15. Dustin says, it's sad to hear Woodford Barrel Proof is good now because they used to suck. And I bought those. That sucks. He says, yeah, those are terrible largely barrel proof beginnings, yes. Those were a terrible start too. Thankfully, I started buying when they got good. Yeah, I didn't start getting the largely barrel proofs until they got pretty good too, which I really enjoy all mine. The pug is watching Sugar Kitty intently. Squirrel! So, Sugar Kitty's got fans.
I forget that he has a pug.
I know, I love pugs. But Annie Z also says Sugar Kitty would not kick Pepper the pug, just make fun of her with no mercy. Is that true, Sugar Kitty? Well, real Sugar Kitty, the kitty?
She's behind me now and just sniffling. She's
Just
sleeping
chilling
back
out
there and sniffling.
That's fair.
Pretty
That's
much.
fair. Cal 15 is in fact hard to beat. 160 damn. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, he says a hundo is about my ceiling lamb. Probably. Oh no, ceiling. And it says yes, not a big baller like Dustin. Facts. Dustin is a big baller. Woodford is just dessert in a glass. Can confirm. I think the thing I like about Woodford the most is, in a lot of Woodford products, I do tend to get a brown sugar note. And I really enjoy like a brown sugary, I really enjoy dark notes in my whiskey, in my bourbon. So like I really enjoy a brown sugar, a chocolate, oak, dark cherries. Those are all part of my really core lineup for what I enjoy in palates. So, yeah. Okay, well, we have drank all the whiskey.
My face is hot.
Lauren's face is hot from drinking old fashions all night, or
There's
what?
like 6 shots of whiskey in it.
That's true. So, Sugar Kitty, out of these 4 lineup, how do you rank them? 1 to 4. 1 being best, 4 being the worst. You can start at the worst. What was your least favorite one tonight? I think I know.
The worst is easy, and that's the A124.
Yep, I agree with you there.
Did not hit me right at all.
No, it's got things that like.
I am going to probably say that first of all, the other 3 are all good, and I like them, and it's relatively close.
Okay.
To me, the redwood is kind of different. It's not at the others' profile at all, so it's kind of hard to kind of go back and forth and put that in the mix. I'm going to say that that's probably the number 3, only because for the most part, the fact that it's so different.
Yep,
but
and I would have to agree with you. That's kind of where I
still
place
like it. If I wanted something that's, not an everyday pour, something specifically to be different after having like a lot of similar ones, I'd have that in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, me too. I think it's really good. And actually I just went back to it because I have a little left in my glass. Obviously they've been sitting in the glass for, an hour now. But it's kind of fun going back to it and just seeing how light and funky and light fruit like pear and all those like notes that you kind of get in that one, coming off of all these super dark, rich chocolate, peanuts and red fruit. And you go back to the one outlier, and it's kind of just funky and awesome. It's a great change of pace, that I can say. But third place
Yeah.
is about right.
To me, it might be a little bit funky, but it's not that kind of funky that I got from the A124.
Correct. Yep.
The last two, then, to me, is a very, very close call. The Woodford is definitely got more age, or at least it appears to taste like it's got more age to it. You know, it
Yep.
might be a combination of ages, you know, that produce that, but
Right.
it is, if you will, kind of like you would say, it's the darker notes to it. Where I think the Pirate bottle is still, it's long and strong, but I think just because of the proof has got so much more to it that the Woodford's going to basically win out.
Yeah.
But the fact that something that's 94 proof comes close to this Woodford, I think
Is
it's saying an
impressive.
awful lot about it.
Absolutely. I think one of the most impressive things I think in whiskey is when you have that low proofer that can really play with the big boys, and it's just kind of every time you drink it, you're just kind of shocked that something that low proof, that easy to drink, can pack so much punch. And I think that's a real testament to good whiskey. I think good whiskey, if someone's making a whiskey that's going to be real good, it's going to be like something that can be low proof and still punch in upper weight classes. I think that's awesome. And you're right. It really competes with the Woodford a lot. With the Woodford slightly edging it out. For me, I like the Woodford a lot. It might have been a little bit more apparent to me, but that Elijah Craig Pirate bottle is just, it's very good. It's so good. But Dusty says, hard to beat double oak if you want sweet, which is one of Lauren's favorites, actually. She loves the double oak, and she loves sweet, so believe it. Peter says, Sugar Kitty sent me a 2-ounce sample of Cal 15, very enjoyable. They can be got in Alberta, but way too expensive. Man, if you would have told me you were interested in one, I could have got you one probably for $110 and dropped it off when we came. But, you know, I'm not sure if you want it for that much. Mr. Lopez appeared. He materialized into the chat, says, hey, what's up, Holdy, Lauren, and Sugar Kitty? And everyone watching along. Cheers, lady and gents. Mr. Lopez, cheers to you, pal. How you doing tonight? And don't forget to smash the like button. Everyone knows, lick the like the lick. You guys know. Sugar Kitty's here, so he got it. He's liking the lick.
It's like a honeymoon float.
Exactly. Sure, Top Shelf Dusty says, Woodford cheats with age using a heat sink, doesn't it? You might be a better one to answer this, because I don't know for sure.
A lot of them do these days.
I know that a lot of Brown-Forman products tend to be on the younger side, but they don't necessarily taste young. I mean, they don't taste old by any, like, they don't always taste high age, but I don't know if I really ever had a Brown-Forman product apart from some Jack Daniel's stuff. Like between Woodford and Old Forester, I hardly get whiskey that I drink and I think to myself, this tastes young to me. But I also haven't had
a lot of Old Forester, to me, I don't really care that much for. But I can tell you one that definitely tastes younger, and that's the introductory Old Forester, the 86 proofer. That tastes young to me all day long.
Okay, so I've only ever had Old Forester 100, which it didn't have very profound notes, but it didn't quite taste super young. It wasn't off-putting. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I've never actually had the Old Forester 86, so I am interested to get a bottle. I just never have, because it's one of those things, you know. You see it every day. You just kind of, whatever. You haven't picked one up, you know. But one day I'll have them. Peter says, keep in mind I paid $36 each for 6 Elijah Craig 12s when the rumor of the age statement was leaving in 2014. That's just wild. That's such a good price for whiskey like that. I mean, granted, back then, all really good whiskey was cheaper, and it wasn't super expensive the way it is now, but still. I just really enjoy it a lot. So thank you again, Peter. Can't thank you enough. Very, very good. And Dustin
Absolutely.
says also good work. Benchmark 8 still being top shelf.
That's why we like it here.
I don't like this bottle at all.
The cheapest whore goes on top.
Yep, that's what it is. All right. Well, did you have anything else you would like to add, Mr. Sugar Kitty Daddy?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. All right, guys.
So
So
let's just say tomorrow's another day.
tomorrow is another day. Good much about wrap it up here. Thank you all for coming out. We had a blast.
Thank
I
you
really
for
enjoyed
having me. Thank
yeah,
you
I
for
really enjoyed these.
talking before.
Yeah, I'm glad you came because this is really fun doing this with you. Especially, you're so good at. I mean, you've been at this a while, so you know what you're doing, and you're like you can kind of guide me and confirm. So sometimes I struggle, especially with like I'm drinking something and I want to say that it's the note that I think, but I'm never sure for sure because I don't want to say something stupid. It's always nice hearing what you have to say so I can kind of confirm, my thoughts with it. Have you tried the Great Plains 18 brandy finish? I have not. I don't know if I even heard of it. Have you tried that?
Haven't heard of it. I do not know what that is.
Oh, wait. You know what? I bet it's one that he gave me. I bet it's that 18. Yeah. Hold on. I have it here. I'm like, it sounds kind of familiar, but I don't know. So this is another one that Peter sent along with me. Yes, it is. This guy. Okay, Marta, I need you to move, buddy. I gotta get in here. Thank you. All right. Yeah, this is another one. I'm not gonna drink it tonight because we've already had 4. I'm on a really strict diet for the next 2 months. But probably next week's live stream is we're gonna be drinking this guy. Bubba, can you cover your face? So this is Great Plains Canadian whiskey. This is finished in brandy casks. So it is craft Canadian whiskey, matured for 18 years in barrel, including a finish of 12 long months in brandy casks. And it also comes in at 109 proof and batch 1. So you guys can look forward to that next week. That's when we're going to be opening this guy along with, I got a new Joseph Magnus cigar blend. This one's batch 238. So Lauren
I won this in a raffle.
Yes, Lauren won that in a raffle. Got it for me, and Nancy herself was on here the other week, and she said that if you have a chance to get a batch that is in the 200s, those are going to be the better ones because she really enjoys those a lot more compared to the one batch that I have, which is like batch 140, 145 or 148 or something like that. So, and she said that the 200 batches are going to be significantly better. So, really excited to open that. So that will be opened next week as well. I also have a 1792 12-year that we got from on the honeymoon that will probably open on next week's live stream as well. So, that being said, Richie Z says, great live. Thank you, Richie. Thanks for being here. Peter White says, I gave you a bottle. Yes, I figured it out. Cognac finished flight. Ooh. Well, this is cognac finish, kind of. Yeah, maybe I can scrounge up some things that are cognac finish. That'd be a great flight. But that being said, thank you all for being here. Sugar Kitty, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting us park at your house.
You were right.
I hope you enjoyed all the whiskeys. Yes, I really enjoyed them. So that being said, make sure you guys lick the like and like the lick. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure you're doing that. And Sugar Kitty, since you're on, why don't you go ahead and let the people know who to check out after this stream?
After this stream, thank goodness it's Tuesdays. Next
Indeed.
up, 21090. By all means.
All right, you guys heard it here first. Make sure you guys are going to check out 21090 tonight.
They
I may
will
or
be
may not
having
be.
Whiskey Wars.
And then what's that?
Whiskey Wars is their special guest tonight.
Oh, Sean. I love Sean.
Yes.
He's good shit. It's been actually a long time since I've talked to Sean. I might try to make it on tonight, but at the same time, I think we're going to her parents' house, Mr. Derek Whiting, since it is his birthday, so someone spend time with him too, right?
I
And
got
happy
him a brown.
birthday to him.
So yes, that looks like something. So that being said, thank you all for being here. We love you all. Sugar Kitty, thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the whiskey. And everybody, have a good night. Check out 1090. And we'll see you all in the next class. Cheers.
Peace.
Cheers, Sugar Kitty.
Thank you.
Clink.
Ah!